Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Street Fighter 6 video. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you my tips to climb out of those lower ranks, and tips that are just, in general, pretty nice for new players to have and keep in the back of their head as they play. But before we begin, if you find this video informative or entertaining at all, please drop a like and subscribe to the channel for all of your fighting game needs. Now let's begin. Our first tip is going to be to use Drive Rush more. At lower levels, I see, and I'll even notice it in myself, that I'm not quite utilizing the drive gauge as much as I should be. More often than not, I notice that I'm not really using Drive Rush, at all. Nowhere near as much as I should be. Occasionally I'll see a Drive Rush or parry, but not quite as many Drive Rushes at lower ranks. Which is a shame, because Drive Rush is really the key to unlocking that higher level of play. It unlocks new combo routes that normally wouldn't be possible, but it also enables some interesting mix-ups since you get all of that glorious frame advantage. For example, let's look at my main man JP here. I can use his standing heavy punch into a Drive Rush into several different options. If I want to go for a low, I can do crouching medium kick. If I want to go for an overhead, I could use forward medium kick. Or I could even just do nothing and go for a grab, making this, in a way, a kind of three-way mix-up that since you're using Drive Rush and you have all that frame advantage, the opponent kind of just has to deal with. So as you can see, Drive Rushes are pretty integral to your game plan. So learn how to use them, which routes to take for the best damage, and if you can force a mix-up, because it will help out quite a bit in your lower rank matches. Speaking of learning how to use stuff, take advantage of training mode. As a new player, you're going to be encountering a lot of new situations that you're not familiar with. With so many characters and so many moves, there's an infinite number of situations you might have to deal with. So go out there and play some matches, have some fun, get to grinding and stuff, and just get absolutely washed by a couple of people, and then take your newfound knowledge to practice mode and start grinding. I really want to call attention to the section of training mode labeled Simple Training Settings. Here's where you can set up and practice a lot of difficult situations to new players with the press of a single button. Say you're having a hard time with execution, which really, doing your combos, you're having a rough time with it. You click on combo practice and you're good to go. Or maybe you're just getting thrown a lot, getting caught in thrown loops, getting thrown out of moves, just getting thrown all over the place. Go to throw escape practice and you're ready to go. It's just so easy to set up and use, so there's no excuse for not utilizing training mode in this game. This next tip is going to be a two-parter. Jump less / learn your anti-airs. Let's just be honest for a second, for a real quick second. Jumping is fun. It's fun to fly over the screen and get those jump-ins for the big damage. But sooner rather than later, you're going to start coming across players that punish your jump every single time. Just heed my warning, okay? It's going to happen eventually. It's going to catch up to you, all right? It's going to catch up to you. Plus, think about it. Being up in the air is the only place where you don't have any kind of defense towards normal attacks. Sure, you're throwing immune, but that's good. That can be useful. But any other attack can hit you. So it's better to stay grounded most of the time and learn when it's okay to jump rather than just jumping everywhere all the time hoping for a good jump in. Plus, you gotta learn your anti-airs, making sure that if you come across a serial jumper like yourself, you can really punish them for it and get a load of free damage and even some really cool combos. Our next tip is gonna be to understand burnout and how to get out of it as quickly as possible. So first off, what is burnout? Burnout is when your drive gauge hits 0. You can either use all of it or an opponent can hit you with attacks and knock you out of it. They can just drain your meter. While in burnout, you have 0 drive gauge, of course, which is kind of a big deal. You can't do overdrive moves, you can't do drive parries, you can't do drive rushes, or drive impacts. Your aggression just becomes super limited. So, how do you get your drive gauge back quickly? Well, you kind of have to be aggressive. Well, not really be aggressive, but you have to be not super defensive, if that makes sense. While in burnout, if you block, jump, or move backwards, your gauge recovery will be penalized. As you can see here, I'm in burnout, and as I jump or move backwards, the gauge slows down and starts to recover slower. So, to get your gauge back faster and to keep your recovery up, you'll need to avoid doing those things, which means moving forwards and being aggressive. You of course have to balance things out. While in burnout, your opponent is going to become way more aggressive since they know you're at a pretty huge disadvantage. But you should avoid completely turtling up and try to make your moves whenever you can to make sure that you get your drive gauge back as fast as possible. For our final and probably hardest tip, learn to be patient. Learn to just simply wait for your opponent to go in and do something punishable and punish it. It's that simple. I know it just kind of sounds easy, yeah, just be patient, duh. But honestly, it's harder for a lot of people than it looks. But that's what separates the good players from the bad, is that ability to wait your opponent out, then strike back whenever they have those juicy negative frames. Especially if someone whiffs a move like a DP that has a ton of recovery, you need to really punish those people and cash out your free full combo damage. And at these lower ranks, that's really the root of the problem. A lot of people are just jumping everywhere, mashing buttons and going in. It's hard to play neutral when people are just playing full aggression nonstop all the time. So really just learn to wait those people out, wait for them to do something stupid and, you know, have negative frames, and then punish them. And that is probably the most important tip. That will help you climb more than probably the rest of these tips, because you don't need to have super high combo damage, but you do need good fundamentals. And part of having good fundamentals is having good patience. And that's going to be it for this video. I want to hear from you all. Did these tips help? Are you going to go hit the practice labs? And what tips do you have for new players to go along with these? I don't know, so let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video or found it informative in any ways, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for all of your Street Fighter 6 gameplay and guides. Also, don't forget to check the description down below for a link to our Discord server where we, organize game nights and just talk about the game and different strategies and stuff like that. And also, new to this video, first time this is being in a video, join our Street Fighter 6 club, ZuluLeaks FGC. It's just my channel name, FGC. That's all it is. Join our club, get some good matches in, get our clan up there, get our club up there. And, yeah, I think that's about it. I'm ZuluLeaks, and I will see you in the next fight.